The Amazing Spider-Man, issue number 34. The Thrill of the Hunt.
My trophy room. Every wild beast that walks, climbs, or crawls, I've beaten with my bare hands. And yet, the greatest prize of all is still denied me. I can endure the frustration no longer. I must battle and defeat my greatest mortal enemy, or else everything that has gone before is but a hollow mockery. The mask of Spider-Man must one day cover that plaster head, even if I pay for the victory with my very life. Only I know of the secret of my special jungle herbs, my wondrous potions of power. They give me the strength of the mightiest jungle beasts, the strength which can match Spider-Man's own.
His rippling muscles almost bursting with new power and energy, Kraven looks about him for a foe. For he needs combat, as other men need air to breathe.
A rogue lion, seeking a kill. Look no further, Simba. You have found your prey. But never has any prey been so eager, so anxious to meet your deadly challenge. Never has any prey possessed strength enough to meet your attack head-on, and to hurl you away with the speed of a serpent.
Then, scant seconds later...
Flee, Simba. I allow you to run off and lick your wounds, but my next victim will be far less lucky.
Days later, at the bustling port of Nairobi.
Once I have delivered my four-legged captives to a zoo in America, I'll be free to begin the greatest hunt of all, the hunt for Spider-Man.
Meanwhile, an ocean away, we find a startling, unexpected tableau unfolding before our incredulous eyes.
I know you're keeping some terrible secret from me. You must tell me what it is, Peter. You must.
Very well, Betty. You have the right to know. Get a good grip on yourself, Betty. This may be a shock to you.
Peter!
Peter? That's just one of the names I'm known by.
Oh, no! No!
I also answer to another name. The name of... Spider-Man.
Not you, Peter. Not you. No, not you. You can't. What? I've been asleep. It was only a dream. Oh, thank heavens. It's not so. I merely dreamt it. I can't stop thinking about him. Night and day. Whatever Peter's secret is, whatever he's hiding from me, it can't be that. It's no use. I can't fall asleep again, not with the knowledge that I must make a decision about him. It cannot be put off any longer.
Meanwhile, in a quiet section of Forest Hills, we find the young man in question.
Now that Aunt May is out of danger, I can get back to my studying again. It's great to know that things are getting back to normal at last. It'll be a pleasure to return to college and be able to concentrate on what's going on. Oh, boy, am I bushed. But it won't take me long to get back in shape. That's for sure. Yep, it's good to be alive.
Thus, at the hospital next day, we find...
Why, Anna Watson, how sweet of you to come and visit me.
I'd have come sooner, May, dear, but I was out of town and didn't know you were ill.
It was just a silly old operation. But Peter is the one I'm worried about. The poor boy hasn't had a soul to look after him all this time.
I've been fine, Aunt May. Honest.
I've good news for you, Mrs. Parker. All your tests have checked out perfectly. You can return home today. After a few days' rest, you'll be as good as new again.
Doc, you're the greatest.
Now you run off to school, Peter. Mrs. Watson will see me home. We've so much to talk about.
Okay, but no touch football for a while. Here?
Peter Parker, you're a caution.
And so, not to be left behind, we too shall visit Empire State U and renew a few acquaintanceships.
Come on, Gwen. You promised you'd go to the game with one of us.
Admit it, Dole. You've decided on me.
I'm the lucky guy this time.
Give us a break, Gwen. Who is it?
Sorry, lads. I've got to rush to class now, but I promise to think about it.
But you've been keeping us on the string all week.
I know, and you love it.
Honey, the guy who finally takes you out of circulation will be the most hated Joe on campus.
It's strange. Peter Parker is the only boy who hasn't paid any attention to me. Oh, my book.
Well, well. At last I have a chance to be a hero without turning into Spider-Man. Allow me, fair maiden.
You! Don't you dare touch my book.
Huh? Look, I don't get it. What gives?
Do we have to spell it out for you? You're as popular here as Mao Tse-tung.
You tell him, Harry boy.
You've been snubbing us since school started, walking around here like a swell-headed snob, just because you won a scholarship. Well, that's okay with us, but don't think you can become one of the crowd anytime you feel like it.
Now I get it. When I was worried about Aunt May, wrapped up in my own problems, they thought I was high-hatting them. The old Peter Parker luck sure is running true to form. I guess I can't blame them for thinking I'm the prize crumb of the year, but I sure don't intend to beg them for a chance to explain. Anyway, they'll get over it. Meantime, I'd better buckle down and catch up on the lab work I've missed.
I guess we told that egghead where to get off, eh, Gwen?
I guess so, Harry. But I wonder why I feel a bit ashamed of myself. After all, he has cold-shouldered all of us ever since he came to ESU. And yet, perhaps he had a reason. Perhaps we just don't understand.
That Gwen is a knockout. If only... what's the use?
But he couldn't care less. Look at him bending over those test tubes. He doesn't even know I exist. Well, Mr. Peter Parker, just you wait.
Later, after class has ended.
Police sirens. Something must have happened. Look at them go. It'll only take me a couple of seconds to change to Spider-Man. Then, I can zip after them and get some photos of the action. Come to think of it, why bother? I've still got some money left from the last pics I sold to Jameson, and Aunt May will be waiting for me. So, I'll just go home and study, like anyone else. Peter Parker, average American. That's me.
But our average American's self-imposed vacation is destined to end much sooner than he suspects. For not long afterwards...
This is the place. I knew I'd find it again. It's the chameleon's last hideout. The one he used when the two of us teamed up. I don't care what happened to him, so long as he stays away till my mission is over. For the time has come for Craven to begin his greatest hunt. Ah, it's good to be attired in my jungle garb once more. And now, I've got to trap Spider-Man before I myself am discovered. For I have been sentenced never to return to these shores. But it is worth the risk, with whatever price I may have to pay, to destroy the one I loathe the most in all the world. Now, I must find a way to make him want to fight me. I need bait. Just the right bait for so dangerous a quarry.
Then, after long hours of careful planning, scheming,
I have it! The perfect lure! Just the thing to lead him to my trap. And then, the hunt shall begin.
we'll admit this has been a pretty long introduction, but once the action gets started, it'll more than make up for it. So bear with us a short time longer as we return to our average Spider-Man once more.
Another snack? Gosh, Aunt May, we just finished dinner a half hour ago.
I know, dear, but I'm sure you didn't eat a thing while I was in the hospital. That's it, Peter. A boy your age needs a lot of nourishment, especially since you've been studying so hard. In fact, I wonder if it wouldn't be a good idea for you to have a hobby, something to help you relax from your studies.
Now don't you worry, Aunt May. It happens that I do have a little hobby, like swinging across rooftops and climbing up walls.
Okay, web spinners, you've been patient with us till now, and here's where it starts paying off. As a commanding voice hails a taxi, a silent costumed figure lurks in the shadows.
Taxi! I said taxi! This is J. Jonah Jameson! It's him, at last. What's your hurry, Jameson? Spider-Man! In person, mister. Now, go away! You can't attack me in the middle of the street like this! Help! Somebody get him away from me! Stop screaming, you coward! I just want to talk to you! Wait, come back here! No, you're out to get me! Because of the editorials I've written against you! You fool! Because of your shouts, a whole crowd has gathered.
Somebody call the police. Spider-Man is assaulting Jonah Jameson.
Too many people can't afford to remain. But I'll be back, Jameson. You'll see. Ah, I always knew you were yellow. I scared you away. Did you all see that? Spider-Man ran from me.
But moments later, on a nearby rooftop, we see...
It worked. I fooled them all. Only Spider-Man will know I was an imposter. And then, he himself is sure to come after me, falling into my trap.
But what of the real Spider-Man? Here he is, the world's most amazing hero, contentedly munching a Macintosh apple as he and his aunt catch up on the day's news.
Did you remember to wash that apple before eating it, Peter dear?
Sure, Aunt May. You know I'm not the type to live dangerously.
And now, news of the New York area. It has just been learned that J. Jonah Jameson, prominent newspaper publisher and man about town, was attacked by Spider-Man as the courageous publisher left the Daily Bugle office building.
Oh,
Peter, what's wrong, dear?
Nothing, Aunt May. I must have bit my tongue. Just when everything seemed nice and peaceful, now this. I know I didn't see Jameson tonight, and that means just one thing. Someone is impersonating me. But why?
Tisk, all this awful crime news.
I'm itching to run out and find the bogus Spidey. but I hate to leave Aunt May alone so soon after her illness.
They shouldn't broadcast such dreadful things. I hope it doesn't upset you, Peter.
I'll wait a while and see what happens. It's probably just some crank. The police may have rounded him up already. No, Aunt May, I don't believe half of it anyway.
But in the days that follow, the daring impersonation continues.
Jameson, you didn't think I'd forget you. Joe again? You've nothing to fear from me now. I'll bide my time. Keep you guessing. Wherever you go, whatever you do, I'll be following, watching, waiting. Let 'em hang around. By writing about his harassment, I'm selling more papers than ever before.
Finally, Spider-Man becomes the #1 topic of conversation throughout the sprawling city.
Imagine founding a public-spirited citizen like Mr. Jameson that way. It's a disgrace.
Someone should put that masked wall crawler out of circulation once and for all.
If you ask me, it's time the FBI stepped in.
You've said it.
If this keeps up, I'll probably be mobbed if I ever dare appear in public as Spidey again.
Until at last, Peter Parker is forced to make a grim decision.
I can't let whatever reputation I have left be torn to shreds so easily. I just can't. I've got to take a hand in this. I've got to learn who the imposter is and stop him.
The decision made, all that remains is to formulate a plan of action.
Spidey is still getting star billing on all the news programs, and none of the reports are flattering. But how do I go waltzing out tonight without worrying Aunt May? Mrs. Watson, for once I'm getting lucky.
I just feel like having a good old-fashioned chat, May, dear.
So do I, Anna. I've got the tastiest cookies, and tea'll be ready in no time.
Since you're planning a chin fest, I think I'll go to a movie, Aunt May.
All right, dear. Have a good time, but don't see one of those awful, scary films that might give you nightmares.
That's what I always tell Mary Jane.
Phew. Thank goodness for Mrs. Watson. And now, it's time for the real Spider-Man to go into action. Since the phony Fink who's been impersonating me seems to hang around Jolly Jonah, then my first stop is the Daily Bugle building. Here it is. Now to... Hey, it's just the one I'm looking for. He's deliberately attracting my attention. Nice of him to make it easy for me. He must be nuts. Now that he made me spot him, he's running away from me. Or is there more to it than that? He might be trying to lead me somewhere. If this is his destination, he's got crummy taste. This whole block has been condemned. The empty buildings are just waiting to be torn down. And speaking of empty buildings, where did he disappear to?
Then, on the street directly below.
Look, it's Spider-Man. Go inside and get the boys. This is our chance to get rid of them once and for all.
Yeah, I've been itching to get my mitts on that punk.
While on the roof, high above all such sordid goings-on.
And now, Spider-Man, the masquerade is over. Raven the Hunter! Then it was you! You were the one impersonating me. Surely you didn't think I'd be content to remain defeated after our last encounter. It is time for another hunt. And this time, the victory shall be mine. Mister, you're just a glutton for punishment. We'll see about that. First, I'll spray some jungle scent on you to cancel out your accursed spider sense. And now, my victim-to-be, your power is barely the equal of mine. But Tui, that'll be the day when I can't beat you. You'll have your chance to prove that, boast. If you can hunt and defeat me, I'll confess that it was I who impersonated you. But if not, skip the rest, Craven. There's not gonna be any if nots. What? I should have suspected. He rigged up a booby trap here for me. But anytime ye old friendly neighborhood Spider-Man can't outleap a pile of tumbling crates, that'll be the day. He's gone. Well, I guess it figures. If I want him, I'll have to play it his way. I'll have to hunt him down. I'd better be careful. He's had all the time in the world to set every kind of unexpected trap for me. And he couldn't have picked a better place to set them. And now, it begins. I've given him enough time to realize what he's up against. So, while he hunts me, Craven, the greatest hunter of all, shall be hunting him.
But neither the hunter nor the hunted is yet aware that a third force has entered the deadly game.
He's gotta be around here somewhere.
No matter how much of a hotshot he is, he can't handle all of us.
Spread out. When you see him, Plowler.
Phew, that was a close one. If not for the old spider speed, I'd be a trapped little web spinner. But there isn't a trap made that can stop me from doing what I have to do. At least, I'm hoping there isn't.
Hey, I heard something in the room ahead. It must be him.
That suits me fine. I'm gonna prove that she's nothing but a phony. I'll mop up the place with them.
Uh-oh, sounds like visitors. 2 pairs of footsteps. But how come? Did Craven bring a friend?
You must have been hearing things. There's no sign of 'em here.
Just a couple of plug uglies. Sorry, gents. This is a private party.
It's him.
Tisk tisk. You mean it is he? Nothing infuriates me as much as bad grammar. Or didn't you know? Sorry to rush off this way, but there's a fella trying to end my little career if I give him half a chance. Holy smoke! It looks like old hoodlums week around here. Well, I'll have to put them on ice fast before Craven lowers the boom on me. Hold still, group. This'll only hurt a minute. Next time you want to do some spider stalking, phone for an appointment. And that's that. I sure hope they were the last of them. Wait, my spider sense, it's starting to tingle. Craven's jungle scent dulled it. It should have warned me sooner. There's danger inside. Maybe there's still time. I stopped myself with my hands. Now, if I can just do a backflip out.
But before the amazing adventurer can make a move.
Too late, Spider-Man. The hunt is ended. I've got you. Don't bet on it, Craven. You fool. I can outfight the full-grown lion in his prime, while you have only some sort of spider power. You certainly know how to hurt a person. Your desperate gibes and taunts do not fool me. You are scared, and you know it. For the first time, you are looking utter defeat in the face. If you say so, Charlie. By the way, in case I forgot to tell you, I hate for anyone to breathe in my face. Never again will you dare to taunt Craven, the same strength that can stop the charge of a bull elephant will still your voice forever. I've got news for you, Craven. You may be a wizaroo with bull elephants, but you're a dud at swatting spiders.
It's Spider-Man. We found him. But where are the other guys we sent after him? And who's he fighting?
What's the difference? Let's get him now, while we got the chance. We'll rush him, all together.
He'll never get away from us this time.
Hate to disappoint you, eager beavers, but this is a private fight. Look out for his blasted webbing. One side, you puny fools. No one shall spoil Craven's hunt. No one.
I got a hunch we bit off a heck of a lot more than we can chew.
I hope you don't think there's anything personal in this, man. I've got to get in position to renew my attack upon Spider-Man. Oops. Sorry. I was hoping you were Craven. Well, that wraps up the last of those ersatz untouchables. But where in blazes did Craven run off to?
And at that same moment, the greatest hunter of all is wondering the same thing about Spidey.
He can't have gotten far. I can still faintly detect the jungle scent I sprayed on him. The aroma is getting stronger. I'm drawing closer, just as he draws closer to his doom. There he is. Now all I'll need is a simple little stratagem to catch him unawares. What? Oh, it's just a piece of ledge falling. But why? What made it fall? That was all I needed, Spider-Man. Just that 1 second of distraction which you generously granted me. So, it was you. Now there can be no interruptions to grant you a last-minute reprieve. Now the game shall be played out to the end. Now the skill, speed, and raw strength which I subdue the wildest jungle beast shall be your undoing also. Thus does Craven win his greatest hunt. I'll be darned if he isn't as good as he says he is. He herded me into this window like an eagle carrying a lamb. But this is where the resemblance ceases. So, there is still some fight left in you, eh? Well, it won't be there for long. My moment has come at last. Nothing can save you now, Spider-Man. You've had your inning, Loudmouth. Now it's my turn at bat. I've taken your boasts and brags till they're coming out of my ears. Now I've got to beat you before you bore me to death. You don't fool me. You're talking big to keep your courage up. Sure, you keep believing that. But in the meantime, while I'm trembling in abject fear and panic, I'll just put you on ice for a while. Why don't you fall? I've hit you hard enough to stagger a rhino. What are you made of? Sugar and spice and everything nice. Phew, at last I got a good, clean punch in. Mustn't give him a chance to recover. He's too strong. Have to keep hammering while I can. In case you haven't guessed, Craven, the hunt is over.
A short time later, investigating a shining spider beam signal, the newly arrived police are flabbergasted to find...
Look, it's Craven the Hunter. He's all gift-wrapped and ready for mailing. And most of the Nails Hogan gang. Also, keeping him company. It's like we won a raffle.
And hidden in the shadows of a nearby rooftop.
The capture of Craven ought to be big news. I might as well get some pics while I can. The heck with it. If I bring them to Jameson, I'll have to see Betty. And somehow, I just don't feel up to facing her right now. Besides, it's only fair for me to stay away from her, to give her a chance to get me out of her system, once and for all. It's the least I can do for her.
And as Spider-Man disappears into the enveloping darkness.
Yes, it's true. I impersonated Spider-Man. It was I who threatened Jonah Jameson. But why are you telling us this? Whatever else I may be, I am a man of honor. I have given my word.
Thus, a short time later, at the Daily Bugle offices.
You mean Spider-Man has vindicated? No, I don't believe it. I won't believe it. You've no choice, JJ. Craven produced his costume and gave the police a demonstration. It was him, all right. Blast it. This means that Spider-Man will end up being a hero. Just when I thought I finally had him where I wanted him. What have you got against that guy anyway, boss? That's my business, Foswell, but I'll nail him yet.
Excuse me, Mr. Jameson. I finished all the day's correspondence. Will there be anything else?
No, that's all. You think I run a sweatshop here? Go on home and be here at 9 sharp tomorrow.
Oh, does that mean...
Yes, you're hired. The job of replacing Betty Brant is yours.
This is wonderful. Imagine, I'm the personal secretary of the publisher of the Daily Bugle. But I never thought that Betty Brant would leave. It happened so suddenly. I wonder what happened.
And so do we, young lady, so do we. Meanwhile, unaware of the change in personnel at the Daily Bugle, Peter Parker returns to his modest little home in Forest Hills.
And, as I was telling my niece, Mary Jane... Oh, hello, Peter.
I'm glad you came home early, dear. Did you enjoy the movie?
Huh? Oh, no. I can't honestly say I did. Anyway, I'll go up and do some more studying now. Been nice seeing you, Mrs. Watson.
Don't tire yourself out, Peter. You know how fragile you are.
Such a nice boy. Not a wild rowdy like so many others.
But, once alone in his room, the complex, sensitive, anguished youth, who is Peter Parker, finds that he cannot study. He cannot concentrate on anything except...
Am I really being a coward? Is it that I'm afraid to face Betty? Afraid to tell her the truth? Am I afraid of her reaction when she learns of the secret I've kept from her all these years? No, this is no good. It's useless. I've got to learn to accept things as they are. I've got to stop thinking of Betty. To me, it must be as though she doesn't exist. It's the only way, because she'd never accept me as Spider-Man. But Spider-Man I've been, and shall always be, for as long as I live.
Next, the Molten Man returns. The end.
Spider-Man, Spider-Man, does whatever a spider can. Spins a web any size, catches thieves just like flies. Look out, here comes Spider-Man.